Good morning, everyone. My name is Enid Lader. I'm the rabbi of Beth Israel, the West Temple, where Lou Goldman and his family have been members for the past number of years, quite a number of years. Death has taken our beloved Lou. Our friends grieve in their darkened world. In their silence, there is lamentation. In their tears, there is loneliness. Lost in their sorrow, may they find the presence of loving friends. Hear them, O God, and be with them. For Lou's love that united us in life and which death cannot sever, for his companionship that was shared along life's path and which continues through the tenderness of memory, for the gifts of his heart and mind that brought us joy and happiness and is now but a precious remembrance, for all these and more we give our thanks to God. In this time of grief, we listen to the voice of our sacred scriptures that brings us the ever-new message of God's nearness. It tells us of our kinship with the Creator, in light as in darkness, in joy as in sorrow, in death as in life. From Psalm 15. Adonai, who may abide in your house? Who may dwell in your holy mountain? Those who are upright, who do justly, who speak the truth within their hearts, who do not slander others or wrong them or bring shame upon them, who scorn the lawless but honor those who revere God, who give their word and, come what may, do not retract, who do not exploit others, who do not take bribes. Those who live in this way shall never be shaken. For Psalm 23, I'll chant the Hebrew and then offer a contemporary translation. Adonai roi lo echsar, binot esher bitzeni, al mei menuchot yenachaleni. Nafshi yeshovev, yancheni v'ma'agle tzedek, lama'an shemo. Gam ki elech b'ketz al mavet lo irara, ki ata imadi. Shiftecha umishantecha hema yenachamuni, ta'orech lefanai shulchan neged tzorarai. Teshanta v'shemen roshi kosi revaya. Ach, tov v'chesed yirtefuni, koyamei chayai, v'shavti b'veit Adonai, leorech yamim. You are my shepherd, and I am content. You lead me to rest in the sweet grasses, to lie down by the quiet waters, and I am refreshed. You lead me down the right path, the path that unwinds in the pattern of your name. And even if I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear, for you are with me, comforting me with your rod and your staff, showing me each step. You prepare a table for me in the midst of my adversity and moisten my head with oil. Surely my cup is overflowing, and goodness and kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and in the long days beyond, I will always live within your house. Dear God and Shepherd, guide us, your flock, with love and compassion. If in our grief and desolation we grow distant, do not abandon us, but draw us closer to you. Grant solace and comfort to those who mourn. May they sustain each other with the blessing of memory, the memory of the life of their beloved, of our beloved Lou. In the valley of the shadow of death, beside the still waters and in the green pastures, you, Adonai, are our shepherd. Be our strength, our shield, our guide, and be our comfort throughout all our days. And let us say, Amen. We need light when gloom darkens our lives. We need fortitude and courage when pain and loss assail us. May we find these in God's presence, and let us find them too in loved ones and companions who do God's work by binding up the wounds of the stricken. Rabbi Rami Shapiro wrote, "We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved by an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, and the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. O eternal our God, we place our trust in your righteousness and accept our lot, our loss, and the love that remains with us forever. Have mercy upon us and strengthen us to maintain our courage at this time of sorrow. Yesh kochavim, there are stars up above. So far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Louis J. Goldman was born on May 10, 1939, in Brooklyn, New York. His parents had each immigrated to America, his father from Russia and his mother from Poland, and they met and married in New York. Times were difficult, and they lived in a small apartment. Lou was born and Joel a few years later. The boys shared a bed in the living room and later shared a bedroom, each with his own bed, in a larger apartment after their younger sister Laurie was born. The two brothers were idolized by their younger sister. Laurie recalled how they were both very smart, great at math, and how their father had placed such importance on their getting good grades and going on to college. The brothers would study together at the kitchen table each night after school, and their mothers would say, "You'll study your brains out." And Laurie recalled how Lou was so protective of his brother and sister, especially against bullies. Lou would take care of it. It was like having your own bodyguard. Well, the brothers both went on to become engineers. Lou graduated from City College with a degree in chemical engineering and later received his master's degree from Case Western. Upon graduating from college, Lou was recruited by NASA to come to Cleveland. Here he roomed with Dan Golden, who became the longest-serving director of NASA Lewis. It was through Dan's girlfriend, who had a friend named Linda Wharton, that Lou met Linda. They dated for 9 months, and then they got engaged, and then they got married. Cheryl and Phyllis and Ken saw their father as strong and assertive, but with a heart of gold. Linda felt it was very important that they each have jobs to be able to pay for special things that they wanted. And there was Lou, who would sneak in some extra money to help things along. Linda was the one who brought the children to Beth Israel, the West Temple, for Sunday school and bar and bat mitzvah lessons and special holiday events. Lou was there for support and the high holy days, and led the Seder for Passover, and enjoyed lighting candles and eating latkes for Hanukkah. Family was very important to Lou, and he made sure his family made their annual summer trip to New York, which also included a trip to the Catskills to Swan Lake, which was advertised as an unforgettable family vacation. I actually went online and found the Swan Lake Resort. When he was a child, the Catskills were where Lou learned to fish, and that love of fishing and collecting fish for his fish tank stayed with him into adulthood. Lou was devoted to his parents. He wrote his mother every Sunday night and called her every week. He sent films that he had taken so his mother could watch and kvel over her grandchildren. And Lou watched and kveled over his grandchildren, too, all 8 of them. He saw becoming a grandparent as a second chance to parenthood. He found his patience had increased, and he was great at babysitting and teaching computer to very young children. But truly, he was a good father, and his children are very appreciative of the good values and strong ethics and the good home they had. And Lou was very supportive of Linda. After their children were off to college and beyond, Linda went back to college to take art and photography classes, and they had the best time together appreciating the art shows and taking pictures. Lou had a good heart and was very kind. He never had a bad word to say about people. Well, maybe except for the crazy drivers. Lou loved sweets, and his friends called him Sweet Lou. After Linda passed away, he learned to cook and to bake. His specialty was key lime pies, but he also perfected his honey cake for Rosh Hashanah, his recipe for bialys, and he made a special point of visiting his mother and transcribing her recipe for strudel from take a handful of this and a spoonful of that to very specific weights and measures, like only a meticulous engineer can do. As a NASA Lewis engineer, among other areas, Lou worked with supersonic turbine design and performance. There are a number of his research papers and memorandums online, which include work on 3-component laser anemometer measurement systems and a summary of methods for designing supersonic stator and rotor blading corrected for boundary layer displacement thickness. What would we do without our engineers? For the past 15 years, Lou so enjoyed being with his dear companion, Terry. Together, they enjoyed traveling and went to China and Spain and Arizona and appreciated being together. This past June, Cheryl organized an 80th birthday party for Lou. He knew very well what was happening, but as he entered the party, he pretended to be surprised. He was so pleased that all the kids and all the cousins and all the family was able to be there. It meant so much to him that everyone came. And after, he was ready to plan the celebration for his 85th birthday. But since September, Lou's health had taken a turn. He never complained, and his face lit up when Terry came, when he had visitors, and when the nurses came into his room. He had a great smile, and his comment came to be, "Take it easy." He enjoyed this song by the Eagles, and as it brought meaning to him, it sheds light for us as well. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand and take it easy. We pray that Lou's family and friends find comfort and support at this time. And as the days and weeks go on, Lou loved to share stories and would want you to do the same and make sure that you laugh. Zichrono livracha, may Lou's memory be for a blessing. I would like to invite Lou's brother Joel to come up and share a few words.
Thank you, Rabbi. This will be a different kind of perspective on Lou from a brother's perspective. And there'll be some overlap, but you bear with me. So my brother Lou was born in Brooklyn, New York, to Ben and Ruth Goldman, and we lived in a very small apartment, 750 square feet, which had 1 bedroom and 1 bath. We had a parakeet and a 30-gallon fish tank in this minuscule apartment. Lou also wanted a Siamese cat and was disappointed when instead we got a sister, Lori. Our neighborhood was in a rough working class area. This gave rise to Lou's toughness as a youth, willing to beat up other kids and even pull a knife, as when he saved me from some older bullies, putting a knife to the guy's throat and threatening to cut his throat. Okay, this is Lou's roughness in the early days. As we heard, Lou liked to fish, and he and I spent countless hours trying to land a big one unsuccessfully during our summers in Swan Lake, New York, but we did catch some small sunnies, and we were able to sell them to people as we were leaving the lake. As we heard, he graduated from the City College of New York with a bachelor's in chemical engineering, went to work for NASA Lewis, And early on, he met his future wife, Linda, and they settled in Middleburg Heights. And he did in 1968, get a master's degree from Case Western. And with Linda, he had brought up three kids, Cheryl, Phyllis, and Ken. And later he had 8 grandkids. And the next speaker, Phyllis, will talk more about life with Lou and the kids and grandkids. But although Linda passed away early in 1999, Lou was fortunate to have his kids and grandkids in the area, and this became the focus of his life. But Lou had many other hobbies and outside interests. A lifelong hobby was his interest in family history research, which he and I did starting in 1978. That's over 40 years ago. Although he and I shared the research work, Lou was the one who did all the painstaking data entry, the engineer that he was, and all the computer software work. The result of all that was a 550-page book of the Goldman family history, detailing over 4,400 people in the family with 3,500 footnotes. The footnotes indicated the source of each piece of information in the tree. Lou was insistent that we be able to prove every element of the tree. So he was very meticulous and very particular about this. Another lifelong hobby was Lou's fish aquarium, which he started when we were young, but he took it to another level with a 50-gallon tank, and he actually learned how to keep the fish alive, something we were not able to do when we were kids. They kept dying on us. For $5, we'd buy a pair of fish, and 3 weeks later they'd be gone. $5 is a lot of money when we were kids. But he figured it out. We heard about his baking, key lime pie. He also liked to try to make Stumer's pumpernickel bread, which we had as kids, his pizza, his bialys. So he was a big baker. Also a big collector of stuff. He was my partner, or Bucky, collecting comic books, coins, stamps, bottle caps, baseball cards. Our large comic book collection was thrown out when we were young, but many years later, in Cleveland, Lou claimed to have found the collection in storage in his garage. And he had me going for a while until he admitted that he bought these old comic books on eBay, paying $50 a piece for ones that we had purchased as kids for 50 cents. Lou also liked puzzles and games, doing cryptograms with me as kids, recently doing Sudoku every week or every day maybe in the Plain Dealer. And he and I had classic marathon Scrabble matches that lasted for days. One time we needed to call the library to confirm a word that I had played. Lou lost, but he claimed I had cheated by making a phone call to the library. That was out of bounds, apparently. He said that the word had to be in the dictionary we had in the house, which was from 1940, and did not have words like suburban. And the library said that was okay, but Lou said, no, you've cheated. So anyway, when the Atari 800 came out, Lou was into making backup copies of games on 5 1/4-inch discs. He had hundreds of games, getting around the software protection by rewriting the software itself. I guess we would call this sort of pirating, although he didn't sell it to anybody. He just shared it with me and maybe some other people in this room. In the last 15 years, he did much travel with Terry, going to China, the Canyonlands, and Spain. And now, sadly, he is gone. Lou did have a good and full life. He could have had more years, but we are thankful for the years he did share with us and for the fond memories that he left behind. You will be very much missed, my partner and Bucky. May you rest in peace. Now, Phyllis?
Thank you, Uncle Joel. So our father led a full and amazing life, as you've heard. I'm his middle child, Phyllis. And my sister Cheryl and brother Ken knew him as an intelligent, caring, funny, and most of all, a very dependable man. Along with our mom, he raised us to work hard and solve our own problems. But at every stage, they were there if we needed anything. Anything we needed, they were there to help, always, without fail. As we grew older, we heard more and more of these stories of my dad's life, mostly from Uncle Joel. They were, stories of my dad's life growing up in a rough neighborhood in Brooklyn. And while the stories told by Joel and his sister Lori are really remarkable, they're filled with drama and humor. The stories tell a tale of an older brother who was unfailingly protective and reliable and ready to step in and help by whatever means necessary. So as a father and as a brother, he was a devoted, consistent presence. In his long career at NASA, through the temple, and his many hobbies, he made many long-standing, extraordinary friends, including Terry, as we've heard, was by his side for the last 15 years. We much appreciate her being there when my mother passed away. Lastly, he was an adoring, proud grandfather of 8 amazing grandchildren: Jason, Sarah, Nathan, Emily, Kyler, Naomi, Trevor, and Nicholas. In this role, he was a mentor. He did experiments, he played games, he built structures, he raised fish with them, he rode bikes, he cooked, and he made his beloved juice. But it was also fun with the grandkids. He took part in tea parties with Emily and the girls, had sleepovers, trips to the park. Again, all this was a consistent theme of him just being there. It's a testament to the strong family values that were instilled by his grandparents, by his own parents, by him and his mom, to the 3 of us children, that we've instilled to our grandchildren. And this will continue his legacy. So please rest in peace, Dad. And next, my son Kyler would like to come up from the grandchild perspective.
Good morning, friends and family of Lou. As one of his 8 grandchildren, I can speak for us all when I say thank you to one of the hardest working, intelligent, and generous people I've ever had the privilege of knowing. We have all become accustomed to seeing him at every family event and our highly anticipated and enjoyed visits to Papa's house over the course of our entire lives. Going forward, we will deeply miss his absence, but remember the positive impact he had on all of our lives. For the rest of my own life, when I say my name, Kyler Lewis Bunch, I will have great pride in who my middle name represents and strive to implement. I will have great pride in who my middle name represents, and I will forever remember the values that the name stands for and strive to implement them in my own life and character. However, Papa Lou has given me more than just a name. Papa Lou has given me happiness in both his presence and his memory, and that will continue to always be the case. Additionally, it is no secret Lou was a very intelligent man, so I'd like to thank him from a genetic standpoint for giving me the bit of intelligence that I do have. A fan-favorite activity amongst the grandkids that Lou would do was make our annual calendar. The calendar was filled with memories from all of our lives, both separate and together, and always gave you something to smile about as you went about your days. I think Lou's aim in the calendar went beyond that of a fun craft. I believe he wanted us to go about every single calendar day remembering what was most important in life, your family. Whatever you had to write on the box of any given day, whether it be something that made you anxious, happy, excited, stressed, or proud, you always could look up and see family, giving you the strength to go about any given day, knowing what was really important in life. We are all here in this room today because we loved Lou and he loved us. He was the architect of the family, and in his passing, he would be happy knowing that even in the most somber of occasions, he did what he did best, bring us all together to enjoy the bond in which we have. It is with a heavy heart that I say goodbye to Papa Lou, but with high spirits, I say thank you on behalf of us all for being the best grandfather, role model, and friend that anybody could have asked for.
Beautiful, beautiful words. It has been written, you can shed a tear that they are gone, or you can smile because they have lived. You can close your eyes and pray that they'll come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that they left. Your heart may be empty because you can't see them, or you can be full of love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember them and only that they are gone, or you can cherish their memory and let them live on. You can cry and close your mind, you can be empty and turn your back, or you can do what they would want you to do. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on. I invite you to please rise for the El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein B'Maromim, Hametzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei HaShechina, Im Kadoshim Tohorim, Kazohar Harachim Hazhirim, Et Nishmat Leib Yona ben Baruch Hu Rachel, Shahalach Leolamo, Baal Harachamim, Yastirehu Beseta Kanofa Leolam Amin, Vayitzror Bitzror HaChayim, Et Nishmato, Adonai Unachalato, Vayanoch Bashalom Al Mishkavo V'namar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to our beloved Lou, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let him find refuge in your eternal presence, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God, you are his inheritance. May he rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. Please be seated. May the Holy One of blessing, from whom all things come and to whom all things return, give us life, light, and peace, and may our service of memory for our beloved Lou bring comfort and strength. At this time, we continue now for interment at Beth Israel the West Temple's section of Ridge Road 2 Cemetery, and Shiva and the Meal of Consolation will be at Cheryl's home in Strongsville.